Most people destroy their future because they are addicted to distractions, addicted to attention, addicted to proving themselves to people who do not even care about them. While they chase validation, years disappear. Opportunities disappear. Potential disappears. But the moment you stop watching others and start building yourself in silence, your entire life begins to change. This audiobook is about that transformation. Chapter 1. Stop chasing people who are not chasing you. Most people are exhausted for one reason. They're trying to be accepted by people who are not even thinking about them. Think about that. Every day, millions of people wake up and immediately start performing. Performing for approval. Performing for attention. Performing for validation. They check who viewed their story. They check who liked the post. They check who replied, who noticed, who approved, who cared. And slowly, without realizing it, they hand their entire life over to other people's opinions. That is dangerous, because the moment your happiness depends on validation, your focus disappears. And when your focus disappears, your future disappears with it. Listen carefully. Weak people need attention. Powerful people need progress. Weak people want applause. Powerful people want results. Weak people talk constantly about what they are going to do. Powerful people disappear and build. That is the difference. And most people never become successful because they spend their entire life trying to look successful. There is a difference between building an image and building a life. An image is temporary. A life is real. An image impresses strangers. A real life gives you freedom. But society trains you backwards. It teaches you to perform instead of develop, to show instead of build, to announce instead of execute. That is why so many people are mentally exhausted. They are carrying the pressure of being seen instead of carrying the responsibility of becoming better. Understand this clearly. Every hour you spend explaining yourself is energy stolen from your future. Every argument online steals focus. Every attempt to impress people steals discipline. Every moment spent seeking approval delays your transformation. Stop chasing attention. Stop begging to be understood. Stop explaining your vision to people who have no vision themselves. Most people do not need access to your dreams. They need distance from your energy. Because the moment you announce a goal too early, people project their fears onto you. They laugh. They doubt. They question. And weak minds absorb that negativity. That is why silence is power. Move quietly. Build privately. Train privately. Study privately. Heal privately. Let people underestimate you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them think you're doing nothing. Because while they are watching everybody else, you are rebuilding yourself. And that is where real power begins. The truth is painful. A lot of people are not addicted to success. They are addicted to attention. That is why they cannot stay focused for long. They need constant recognition, constant reassurance, constant applause. But transformation does not happen in applause. Transformation happens in isolation, in discipline, in repetition, in uncomfortable silence. There will be seasons in your life where nobody claps for you. Nobody notices your effort. Nobody understands your sacrifices. Good. That is the test. Can you continue without validation? Can you continue without attention? Can you continue without immediate results? Because that is where most people quit. They want rewards too quickly. They want recognition too early. They want proof before the work is complete. But successful people understand something average people never learn. The seed grows underground first. Nobody sees the roots forming. Nobody applauds the process. But eventually the results become impossible to ignore. That is how your life must become. Stop showing people every step. Stop announcing every move. Stop talking so much. And start building. Silently. Obsessively. Consistently. You do not need everyone to believe in you. You need discipline. You do not need everyone to support you. You need focus. You do not need constant motivation. You need standards. Look at your life honestly. How much energy have you wasted trying to convince people to value you? How much time have you wasted checking whether people approve of you? How many opportunities disappeared because you were distracted by people who were not building anything themselves? This is why your focus must return to you. Not selfishness. Self-respect. There's a difference. Selfish people only care about themselves. Focused people take responsibility for themselves. And responsibility changes lives. The moment you stop chasing external validation, your mind becomes clearer. Your emotions become calmer. Your decisions become stronger. Because now your actions are no longer controlled by public opinion. They're controlled by purpose. And purpose creates discipline. Listen carefully. Loneliness is not always punishment. Sometimes it is preparation. Sometimes isolation is necessary. Because you cannot hear your own thoughts when you are surrounded by noise all day. You cannot develop mentally while constantly consuming distractions. You cannot build a powerful future while emotionally attached to temporary people. Some people must leave your life so your focus can return. Some habits must die so your discipline can grow. Some distractions must disappear so your future can finally begin. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable at first. Very uncomfortable. Because most people are addicted to noise. Silence scares them. Stillness scares them. Being alone with their thoughts scares them. But growth requires silence. Growth requires reflection. Growth requires separation from chaos. That is why you must protect your energy aggressively. Protect your mornings. Protect your attention. Protect your goals. Protect your routines. And most importantly, protect your mind from people who drain your ambition. Not everybody deserves access to you. Not everybody deserves updates on your life. Not everybody deserves explanations. Move differently now. Talk less. Observe more. Work harder. Disappear from unnecessary drama. Disappear from meaningless conversations. Disappear from constant comparison. And reintroduce yourself through results. Because at the end of the day, your life changes when your focus returns to yourself. Everything changes when your energy stops flowing outward and starts building inward. Your confidence changes. Your habits change. Your standards change. Your future changes. But it starts with one decision. Stop chasing people who are not chasing you. Stop performing for strangers. Stop seeking approval from people who cannot even control their own life. And start becoming someone you are proud of in private. That is real success. That is real confidence. That is real power. And in the next chapter, you're going to understand something even deeper. Your habits are quietly building your future every single day, whether you realize it or not. Chapter 2. Your habits are quietly building your future. Your future is not created in one dramatic moment. It is created in small decisions repeated every single day. That is the truth most people avoid. They want transformation without discipline. They want success without structure. They want confidence without effort. And because of that, they stay trapped in the same cycle for years. Listen carefully. Your habits are building your future right now. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Right now. The way you wake up matters. The way you think matters. The way you spend your mornings matters. The way you respond to stress matters. Everything is training you into someone. The question is simple. Who are you becoming? Because whether you realize it or not, repetition creates identity. If you repeat weakness daily, weakness becomes your identity. If you repeat excuses daily, excuses become your personality. If you repeat discipline daily, discipline becomes your power. That is why your habits matter more than your emotions. Emotions change constantly. Habits stay. Anybody can feel motivated for one day. Anybody can feel inspired after watching a video. But can you stay disciplined when nobody is watching? Can you continue when you're tired? Can you continue when results are invisible? That is what separates average people from powerful people. Average people act based on feelings. Powerful people act based on standards. And standards create transformation. Most people destroy their potential in ways that look harmless. Scrolling for hours, sleeping too long, complaining constantly, avoiding difficult work, delaying responsibility, wasting time. These behaviors seem small in the moment, but repeated daily, they quietly build a weak life, a distracted mind, an undisciplined future. Understand this clearly. Every habit is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every workout matters. Every hour wasted matters. Every excuse matters. Every decision matters. Because small actions repeated long enough become destiny. Look around. The successful person and the unsuccessful person often have the same 24 hours. but one uses those hours intentionally. The other destroys them carelessly. One wakes up early and builds. The other wakes up late and reacts. One studies. The other scrolls. One trains their body. The other trains their excuses. One sacrifices temporary comfort. The other sacrifices their future. That is the difference. And the painful reality is this. Most people are not failing because they lack talent. They are failing because they lack discipline. They cannot stay consistent. They quit too early. They stop when things become uncomfortable. But discomfort is where growth begins. Nobody becomes stronger by staying comfortable. Nobody becomes successful by avoiding pressure. Nobody transforms by repeating weak behaviors every day. You must understand this deeply. Your current life is a reflection of your repeated habits. Your mindset, your health, your confidence, your finances, your energy, all of it reflects your daily behavior. That is why excuses are so dangerous. Excuses protect weakness. Excuses delay change. Excuses keep people average. And average becomes permanent when repeated long enough. Stop saying you will start tomorrow. Tomorrow is the favorite lie of undisciplined people. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. And suddenly years disappear. Meanwhile, disciplined people keep building quietly. One day at a time. One habit at a time. One improvement at a time. That is how powerful lives are built. Not through motivation. Through consistency. Listen carefully. Nobody is coming to save you. No perfect moment is coming. No magical opportunity is arriving to rescue your future. You must become the person who takes responsibility. The person who acts without excuses. The person who continues without applause. Because real discipline is not loud. Real discipline is invisible. It is waking up early when nobody sees it. It is working when you do not feel like working. It is studying when distractions are everywhere. It is controlling your emotions instead of letting emotions control you. That is self-respect. People think discipline is punishment. It is not. Discipline is freedom. Discipline frees you from weakness. Discipline frees you from regret. Discipline frees you from dependence. Without discipline, your emotions control your life. And emotions are unreliable. Some days you will feel confident. Some days you will feel tired. Some days you will feel doubt. Some days you will feel fear. That is normal. But disciplined people do not negotiate with temporary emotions. They execute anyway. That is power. The problem is that modern life rewards distraction. Constant entertainment. Constant stimulation. Constant noise. People cannot sit alone for 10 minutes without reaching for a screen. Their attention is broken. And a broken attention span creates a broken future. Because success requires focus. Long focus. Focused effort. Focused repetition. Focused discipline. You cannot build a powerful life while addicted to distractions. You cannot grow while constantly escaping discomfort. And you cannot become exceptional while behaving like everybody else. At some point, you must decide, do you want temporary comfort or long-term transformation? Because you cannot have both. Success demands sacrifice. It demands structure. It demands repetition. The gym when you're tired. The work when you're uninspired. The discipline when excuses feel easier. That is where transformation happens. Not in motivation. In routine. Your routine reveals your future. Read that again in your mind. Your routine reveals your future. If your daily life is filled with distractions, your future will be filled with regret. If your daily life is filled with discipline, your future will be filled with opportunities. Simple, but not easy. And that is why most people never change. They want easy results. But difficult actions create powerful outcomes. That is why you must become obsessed with improvement. Obsessed with growth. Obsessed with becoming stronger mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially. Not obsessed with perfection. Obsessed with consistency. One disciplined day matters. Then another. And eventually, your entire identity changes. That is how transformation works. Slowly, quietly, repeatedly, until one day you look back and realize you are no longer the same person. That is the reward of discipline. A new life. A stronger mind. A calmer spirit. a more powerful future. But it all begins with habits. Daily habits, private habits, invisible habits. Because the truth is simple. The life you want is hidden inside the discipline you avoid. Remember that. The life you want is hidden inside the discipline you avoid. And in the next chapter, you're going to learn why truly powerful people stop talking so much and start building in silence while the rest of the world watches. Chapter 3. Build in silence and let results speak. Most people talk too much. They announce every goal, every plan, every idea, every move, and then they wonder why nothing changes. Listen carefully. Talking creates the illusion of progress. But illusion is not transformation. Anybody can speak. Anybody can post motivational quotes. Anybody can announce big dreams. But very few people can stay silent long enough to build something real. That is why powerful people move differently. They understand something most people never learn. Real growth is quiet. Real discipline is quiet. Real transformation is quiet. While the world is talking, distracted people are performing. Focused people are building. Silently, patiently, relentlessly. The problem with constantly announcing your goals is simple. You begin enjoying the attention before earning the results. And that weakens your execution. Because your brain mistakes attention for achievement. You feel productive without actually producing anything. That is dangerous. Very dangerous. The strongest people are not obsessed with looking successful. They are obsessed with becoming successful. There is a difference. One seeks applause. The other seeks mastery. One needs validation. The other needs progress. One talks constantly. The other works constantly. And over time, results expose the difference between the two. Understand this clearly. You do not need to explain your vision to everyone. Most people cannot even understand their own life. Why are you seeking permission from confused people? Why are you looking for approval from people who gave up on themselves years ago? Protect your vision. Protect your focus. Protect your energy. Not everybody deserves access to your goals. Some people secretly want you to stay small because your growth reminds them of their excuses. Some people laugh at ambition because they abandon their own dreams. And if you're not mentally strong, their negativity will infect your discipline. That is why silence matters. Silence protects momentum. Silence protects focus. Silence protects growth. Move quietly. Let people doubt you. Let people misunderstand you. Let people think you're doing nothing. Meanwhile, you keep building, keep improving, keep evolving. Because eventually results become impossible to hide. And results speak louder than explanations ever will. Listen carefully. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to destroy your peace. The moment you constantly compare your life to others, your focus disappears. You stop building your future and start obsessing over someone else's journey. That is weakness. Everybody has a different timeline, different struggles, different lessons, different battles nobody sees. So stop measuring your beginning against somebody else's middle. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Focus on yourself. Focus on your habits. Focus on your growth. Because comparison creates insecurity, but focus creates power. And social media has made this problem worse. People are addicted to watching everybody else live. Watching, scrolling, comparing, consuming. Meanwhile, their own dreams are dying from neglect. Years disappear like this. Potential disappears like this. People waste their life observing instead of building. Do not become one of them. You do not need to know what everybody else is doing. You need to know what you are doing. That is where transformation begins. When your attention returns to your own mission. And understand something important. The strongest revenge is not anger. It is success. The strongest response is not arguing. It is growth. The strongest statement is becoming. Unrecognizable through discipline. Because nothing confuses people more than silent improvement. When you disappear for months and return stronger, calmer, wiser, more focused, people notice. Not because you talked about it, because the results speak for themselves. That is power. Real power does not scream for attention. It radiates naturally. And here is another truth most people avoid. Transformation takes longer than people expect. That is why most people quit. They want immediate rewards. immediate success, immediate recognition. But real growth happens slowly, very slowly. At first, nothing seems to change. You wake up early, still no applause. You train daily, still no recognition. You study, you sacrifice, you stay disciplined. And externally, everything looks the same. But internally, you're changing. Your mind is becoming stronger. Your standards are becoming higher. Your discipline is becoming sharper. And eventually the external results catch up to the internal transformation. But only if you stay consistent long enough. That is the challenge. Can you stay focused without immediate rewards? Can you remain disciplined while nobody notices your effort? Can you continue building while progress feels invisible? Because that is what separates successful people from average people. Patience. Most people stop too early. They plant seeds and dig them up every week to check for growth. That is why nothing survives. But disciplined people understand delayed gratification. They understand that painful seasons create powerful futures. So they stay patient. They stay focused. They stay committed. Even when the process feels lonely. Even when results are slow. Even when nobody believes in them. That is mental strength. And mental strength changes everything. The truth is simple. 1 year of complete focus can completely rebuild your life. 1 year of discipline can transform your body, your finances, your mindset, your confidence, your future. But most people never experience this transformation because they cannot stay committed long enough. They get distracted. They seek attention. They quit too early. Do not make that mistake. Decide who you want to become. Then build that person quietly. Every day, every habit, every sacrifice, every disciplined action matters. Stop talking so much. Stop announcing every move. Stop seeking validation for unfinished goals. And become obsessed with execution. Obsessed with growth. Obsessed with becoming stronger than your old self. Because in the end, nobody cares about promises. People respect results. Let your discipline speak. Let your consistency speak. Let your transformation speak. And most importantly, let your new life become proof that focusing on yourself changes everything. That is the real message of this audiobook. Your life changes the moment your focus returns to yourself. Not to distractions, not to validation, not to comparison, to yourself, your growth, your discipline, your mission. So disappear for a while. Build in silence. Train your mind. Strengthen your habits. Protect your energy. And return stronger than anyone thought possible. Then you will finally understand something powerful. The loudest success is silent transformation. Focus on yourself until your habits change. Focus on yourself until your mindset changes. Focus on yourself until your body changes. Focus on yourself until your income changes. Focus on yourself until your confidence becomes unrecognizable. Because the truth is simple. Most people stay stuck because they're too busy watching everyone else. Too busy comparing. Too busy explaining. Too busy seeking approval. But the moment your energy returns to your mission, everything changes. Your future is not built in comfort. It is built in discipline, in silence, in sacrifice, in consistency nobody applauds. So after this audiobook ends, make a decision. Disappear from distractions. Distance yourself from weakness. Stop announcing your next move. And become obsessed with building the life you know you are capable of creating. 1 year of complete focus can make you unrecognizable. Now ask yourself honestly, will you continue wasting your potential? Or will today be the day your transformation begins?